Guys, what is up? Welcome back to Just a Guy on My Lunch Break, aka Corey. Let me fix you up there. Yeah, that's better. So feels like Friday feels, but it's actually Wednesday, but I'm off for the next 4 days, so I am like super stoked about that. Hopefully all of you guys are in the same situation. I'm off tomorrow, which is Thanksgiving, obviously, and the day after, and Saturday and Sunday as well. So I'm really looking forward to that time with my family. Guys, all right, listen. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, please do that. I would really appreciate it. That's your payment. It's not much. It doesn't take but a second, and then you can go on about your business, watch my content for free. And like I said, it helps me out. So if you would, please subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to go on about a 10-minute rant about my morning before I get to talking about Kratom. So for all of you out there who piss and moan when I start talking about stuff other than Kratom, sorry. You're welcome to find another video right now as we speak. But it's actually pretty funny. You might want to hear some of it. It was not funny to me when it was all happening, but it's one of those things in hindsight, I'm like, damn, bro, this could have been in a movie. Definitely a comedy sort of movie. And I'm sure you guys have had, mornings like this. It was just one of those mornings where from the very instant that I rolled out of bed until the time that I left my house to go to work, which is probably, I'm like a whirlwind in the morning. I go through all my process. I've got it down to a science, and I mean, you're looking at no more than an hour. I'm up right around 6:30, and I'm done from one thing to another, and I'm out the door by 7:25, 7:30, so I can be at work by 8. But it was one of those, literally from the instant I rolled out of bed, it was one thing after another, going awry, going off track, going wrong, if you will. So I want to share some of that with you guys, and you'll probably get a chuckle out of some of it, I'm sure. So wake up again around 6:30. I did snooze one time, so I probably didn't roll out of bed to closer to 6:40. Get out of bed, take the dogs out. We've got a cold front coming through, so it's pretty chilly outside. So, I got to bundle up, put a coat on, all that stuff. It was raining pretty heavily last night. It was still raining this morning, although not extremely hard, but it was raining. So it's cold and rainy, right? First things I have to do in the morning when I get up is take the dogs out. They've been holding it all night. So they know that as soon as I pop out of that bed, you hear nails all over the hardwood floor, because they know what time it is. If you own dogs, you know where I'm going with this. So first thing I do is take them out, bundle up, walk outside. Now, I have a husky that is getting older. Both of my dogs are getting older, but especially the husky. And she's one of those where she's too prissy to walk around in the rain. She doesn't like it very much when it rains. And so she's really bad about taking her own sweet-ass time when you take her outside. And there are times, and there have been times, that I'll take her out, stand with them for a couple of minutes, and she doesn't use the bathroom. But then, as soon as she comes back in, she's letting you know, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. And we're like, you just came back from going to the bathroom. Why didn't you go to the bathroom when you're outside? Of course, you can't have this conversation with a dog because, well, they're dogs, all right? So take them outside. They both pee. Neither one of them pooped, which is not strange because a lot of times they don't in the morning, okay? But I'll tell you somebody who did have to poop. This guy. So I don't know about you guys, but I am a very, very clockwork, biological type individual. I'm a very disciplined type of person about what I eat every day and when I eat it. I kind of eat around the same time every day throughout the day, and then in the evenings, exercise usually around the same time every day. I'm truly a creature of habit. So I'm one of those people. get up in the morning, walk around a little bit. Once I take about 100 steps, I take the dogs out, bring them back in, go ahead and feed them. That's the second thing I do. Once I do that and start moving around a little bit, I'm like, oh, you know, it's time for me to go, right? So, and I will say, and I'm telling you, look, I'm sorry if this is just gonna be too graphic for you guys, but hey, it is what it is. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'm too old to get embarrassed, so I'm just gonna tell you. So yesterday I didn't shit. Every once in a while that'll happen. Like if I eat a significantly smaller amount for dinner, you know, it'll kind of not push the rest out. Typically I do it every day, and it's like clockwork, once a day in the morning. Well, yesterday I actually didn't shit that day. So, and whenever that happens, when that following day comes, in the morning time comes, and it's time for me to go do my number 2, usually it's a little more intense, you know, because I've got the shit from that day and then the shit from the day before that it's been piling up in there and that I didn't get rid of. Okay, so when I say I had to shit this morning, I had to shit. I mean, I had to shit pretty bad, right? So take the dogs out. They don't do anything but pee because it's raining and it's cold, and she didn't like it. You know, she's prissing around out there. Get them inside, feed the dogs, sit down on the toilet. No sooner than I get my pants down and I sit on the toilet, I'm like, what is that? What is that? It's my alarm. It's my alarm going off in the bedroom where my wife and where the baby are sleeping. The baby has had an ear infection. He's not been sleeping that well. He's been up multiple times per night. My alarm is going off. So instead of hitting dismiss, apparently I hit snooze when I got up this morning. I'm in the other room in the hall bath, sitting on the toilet, and I hear my alarm going off. Let's just say this. Unless somebody cuts it off, the alarm does not shut off on its own. I mean, it may eventually, but it's just going to ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. And I'm like, no, you know, because I care about my wife, care about the baby. The baby's still sleeping. I didn't want to wake him up. I knew it was a rough night. My wife was up with the baby several times. So I like jump up, pull my pants up, run into the other room real quick, cut my alarm off, grab my phone, all the while, you know, clenching my ass cheeks together because I got to shit really bad. Finally, go back in the other room, sit down, shit. All right, everything's good, right? Everything's good. No. Sitting there shitting, get finished shitting, do my business, go to flush the toilet stops up. I'm like, no. Luckily, we have a plunger in that bathroom, so I reach into the closet, grab the plunger, I start, you know, normally this is a quick thing. It's like, you know, 10 plunges, and it's a wrap. You know, I know how to get on it, right? For some reason, this time, it was stuck in there good, and I couldn't get the toilet unstopped. So, it took me, I mean, I literally got to the point where, you know, first thing in the morning, I literally got to a point where I was starting to break a sweat, plunging the freaking toilet. So I'm sitting there plunging the toilet. All of a sudden, I hear, it's my husky. She's running back and forth between the bathroom and the bedroom. So my wife's in there still trying to sleep with the baby. And the dog is now running back and forth from the bedroom to the bathroom where I'm at. The bedroom to the bathroom. And I actually heard her doing this while I was sitting on the toilet. And I was like, Bella, wait, you should have gone while you were outside. You know, of course she doesn't understand me. She's just like, I got to shit. Why are you not taking me out? And so I'm sitting there with my pants around my ankles, plunging the hell out of the toilet, looking over at the dog yelling, shut up, Bella, take you out in a minute, you know, and I'm there plunging the toilet. So, finally it was one of those where I hadn't seen it go down, the toilet water, that is, but I was like, it's gotta be, you know, it sounded, you know, you can hear the suction when it finally comes loose. So I'm like, cool, I feel like it's good. Go to flush it. It was not good. The water starts rising again, and you know that feeling. I'm like, no, so then I'm just like, and I really get on it, and this is when I start sweating. So I really get on it by this time, and finally, the water goes down, the toilet's flushed. I'm like, thank God. All the while, my husky's running back and forth. She's already woken up my wife and the baby by this point. Wash my hands, walk into the master bathroom. By this time, my wife is up with the baby. She's running bath water because she's going to give him a bath, give the baby a bath. Okay? So I walk in there, and I see her. She's already got his clothes off, so he's buck naked, my son. And she's leaning over, and she's touching the water, and she's going, oh, that's probably too hot for him. That's probably too hot for him. And she's got him in her arms. So I see that she's struggling, trying to fix the bath and water and all that. So I do what any good husband and father would do. I'm like, give him to me. I'll hold him while you get it situated, while you run some cold water in there to even out the temperature. We don't want to burn him, So she hands me the baby, and I'm, coddling him like I normally do and loving on him and stuff. And all of a sudden I'm like, what is hot? What is hot on me? I look down, the baby's pissing on me. The baby pissed all over my shirt, and I look at my shirt, I'm like, oh my God. So as you can see, it's just getting better and better by this point, okay? Luckily, I was about to get in the shower anyway. I was about to take those clothes off anyway to get in the shower, so it was one of those things where, in hindsight, it's pretty comical. But at the time, I had already had a shitty morning that really had everything to do with shit and piss. The dog didn't shit, and now she has to shit. I shit, stopped up the toilet, spent about 5 minutes trying to get the toilet unstopped, and then I go into the master bathroom, and my son pisses all over me. Okay, so that's how my morning started so far. I get in the shower, and of course my wife we have a separate, a really nice, like, high back and high side tub, one of those really nice tubs that you can relax in, and which I don't really use it, but my wife will every once in a while, and have her glass of wine and whatever. And so she's outside of the shower, giving my son a bath. And she starts talking to me, because that's what we do, we are always talking. We're like best friends. And she starts telling me I'm a little irritated because I got a message from your brother, my brother, her brother-in-law, my brother, and he's asking if, I'm not going to say any names, the woman that my brother is dating, I'm going to call, they're not engaged, he's been with her for about 2 years, but she's his girlfriend, and she has a couple of children. One of them is a grown male. And we have had plans for the last 2 months, since my mother-in-law has moved into town. She is having everybody, including my family, including my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, their 2 kids, myself. I'm not even going to name everybody. We got a total of about 15 people. They're going to be at her house tomorrow for Thanksgiving to eat. And my wife gets irritated because she gets a message from my brother just this morning asking if his girlfriend's son, adult son, who is in his 30s, if they might have room for him. And listen, we don't have room for him. We don't have room for the people that we have. So, and it's just kind of irritating because, like, we've been planning this for 2 months. Why is he just now asking? There's an issue of whether we have enough food. There's an issue of whether we have enough space. We've not planned for this guy to be here, right? And I don't want to say this, and I'm telling you, I know I'm going to get some hate for this. I'm just going to say it. He's a homosexual, and I want to say this. I stay away from any sort of judgments on people for their sexual preferences. I don't care. It is none of my business. I'm definitely not a homophobic type person. You know, I will treat them with the same sort of respect that I would treat any heterosexual person. It's just the type of home training I've had. It's not a big deal. It's not my lifestyle choice, but I'm not going to condemn or judge anyone else for that being their lifestyle choice, okay? But you got to understand something. My mother-in-law, my wife's mom, is a very, very strict Christian individual, okay? I'm talking about very Christian. My wife went to a Christian high school when she was young. She went to a Christian college, Liberty University. That's all due to her mother being a very, very strict Christian person, okay? And not only that, but my brother-in-law and his wife are very strict Christian individuals. Little side note, when my mother-in-law came down for Christmas last year, this is before she moved here from Connecticut, she came down to visit at Christmas. We tried to show her the movie Coco. A lot of you maybe heard of it. The movie Coco is a Disney movie, cute little movie about, you know, the cutesy little movie about the Day of the Dead, and it's got this little story about anyway, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, very cute, uplifting, inspiring sort of movie. We tried to get her to watch that with us. She wouldn't watch it. She refused to watch it. Also, my brother-in-law and his wife refuse to watch it and won't let their kids see it, despite it being a Disney movie. Why? Because it talks about the Day of the Dead, a Mexican holiday which directly opposes the belief of Christianity. Okay? Alright, so this kind of became not a big deal because that's their choice and that's fine. But it was one of those where, like, really? You refuse to watch a Disney movie that we're telling you is a really cute movie because, you know, it's just, consider it fiction. You know, it's fiction. These are animated characters. Why, the fact that you don't believe in the Day of the Dead, why is that, you know? Just forget about that. You know, it's just think of it as a fictional movie that's not true and just watch it. You know, I mean, you watch fictional movies all the time. Why are you picking on Coco? You know, and that's, they just have very, very strict Christian mindsets when it comes to that. Don't judge them for it. I love them regardless of it, but that's who we're talking about here. These are the people who are preparing the Thanksgiving dinner. And now my brother is asking if his girlfriend's adult homosexual son, whom they've never met, who my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, none of them have ever met, can come to Thanksgiving dinner at last minute. Okay? So hopefully when I put that into perspective for you guys, it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's last minute. We don't know if we have room. They don't know if there's enough food. It's just one of those things where we have enough shit going on. And it's one of those things where he asked us. He didn't ask my mother-in-law because he's not really close to my mother-in-law like that. So now my wife has to reach out to his mother-in-law and they have to try to figure out if there's enough room. I just want to say, the fact that he is homosexual has absolutely no bearing on whether this man should share a table with us at Thanksgiving. We don't care, but we are concerned about my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and his wife with their 2 young kids. And it's just, and listen, the way I see it is, Christians should not be judgmental people, and if you're the type of person that would treat someone different because of their sexual preference, you're not really a Christian. I really feel that way. I really honestly feel that way. And let me say this. My mother-in-law, I know for a fact that she would not treat this man any different. She would not say anything disrespectful for him. Neither would my brother-in-law or my sister-in-law. No one would say anything. No one would treat the guy any different. You know, and I suggested to my wife, like, leave that part out. And she was like, well, my mom already knows that he's homosexual because it's come up in a conversation before, right? So let me be clear. You know, everyone is involved is kind enough to, nobody's going to say anything. And nobody would say anything. But you know it's there. You know, the emotional noise is there. And you know you're talking about people that refuse to watch the Disney movie Coco because it talked about the Day of the Dead in it. So you can only imagine how they feel about this, you know, woke LGBTQ, you know, a gay commercial and a trans person in a commercial, every other commercial these days. You know what the climate's like. I mean, you guys all know what it's like. Judgment or not, they're shoving it down our freaking throats, are they not? Yes, they are. The answer is yes. Okay? And so it's awkward. It's kind of weird, you know, and that was just on top of everything else that was going on. Okay? So finally, we discuss that. I get out of the shower. I go, and, you know, I take a morning dose of Kratom. And when I take my morning dose, I always have it with orange juice. Look in the refrigerator. I'm like, where's the orange juice? Where's the orange juice? There was like a quarter thing of an orange juice. So apparently my 17-year-old got up in the middle of the night and was extremely thirsty for orange juice, apparently. Because this young man got up and drank probably 14 to 16 ounces of orange juice. All my orange juice was gone. I was like, damn it. Morning couldn't get any worse, you know. Oh, but it can. So the orange juice thing happened. I look in the where the trash can is. I'm like, yep, there's the orange juice container. There it is. You know, drank every bit of the orange juice. So I finally, you know, do what I need to do. I fix my coffee. I'm sitting there drinking my coffee, getting ready to walk out the door in a couple of minutes. And you know, my wife's taking off today. She was taking off today so she can get some stuff done and get prepared for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So she actually took a vacation day today. And by this time, you know, the baby was out of his bath. She had gotten him dressed, whatever. She was carrying him. I was like, well, let me, you know, I was giving him a hug by, like I do every day, give him a little kiss, coddle him a little bit because they're so freaking cute at that age. And so she passes him to me and I'm holding him. He spits up on my shirt. I swear, you cannot make this shit up. Every bit of what I've just told you that happened this morning truly happened. Okay? And so I was just like, oh my God, are you serious right now? Oh my God. And by this point, my wife and I were just like, just kind of smiling like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of those days, baby. It's one of those days. I mean, it's just getting comical at this point. So I go in last minute, you know, it's time for me to go. I run in there, wash my hands, you know, change my shirt, put another shirt on, go get ready to leave, give him a kiss bye, get ready to leave, go to the end of the hall, and there's shit in the floor. Yes, that is right. There is shit in the floor because in all of the hullabaloo and everything else we had going on, we didn't take the dog out as she was yelling at us for having to go shit. So she pranced her little happy ass down to the end of the hall and right in the floor at the end of the hall. And I'm telling you now, the only thing that would have made this story better is if I would have stepped in it. I'm telling you, I'm glad I didn't, because if I would have stepped in that shit, I probably would have put my hand through a wall. Literally. And I'm not like an anger, like aggressive, violent outburst of anger type person, but I'm telling you, I would have put my hand through a wall if I would have stepped in that shit this morning. Luckily, for some reason, I don't know why, normally, I walk to the end of the hall. I don't bother turning the light on. That's where the garage is. That's where my car is. I walk straight down there, open the door, go out, get my car, and I leave. For some reason, this morning, something told me, flip the light on in the hall. Flip the light on in the hall. I don't know why. I guess it was in the back of my mind, because my wife was getting ready to put the baby in his bouncer and was about to take the dogs out, because the dog had been yelling at us for like the last, you know, 15 minutes or so to go outside. But we couldn't. We didn't, you know, we were trying to get ready. We were doing stuff, you know. She wasn't on the top of the list of priorities. And luckily, I turned the light on and I saw it before I went down at the end of the hall and stepped in it before going out to the garage. And I was just like, oh my gosh, how in the world could all of this happen to one person in one morning? I mean, it was literally like the morning straight out of hell, okay? So anyway, I thought you guys might like to hear some of that. It was a very interesting morning for me. I know the whole video's been about that shit and I hadn't said anything about Kratom, but you know what? Just a guy on my lunch break, man. What do you expect from me? What do you expect from me? At Skyhacker, FPV7104 says, "This is great. I love that you advocate health and responsible use of Kratom. Keep doing this." Thank you for that encouragement. I really appreciate it. I do, and I always will. You know, it's one of those things where if people are going to use it as a guilty pleasure in their lives, you know, I want people to be aware of the fact that aside from the Kratom, you need to clean up other things in your life, you know, because, you know, Kratom is something that can have some potentially damaging effects. Let's just get real. Let's just be honest about that. You know, I know it makes us all feel good and we all want to sit up here on our high horses and just, you know, verbally beat the shit out of anybody that says anything bad about Kratom because we take it and it's done wonders for us. But let's just get real. You know, it's just like chocolate cake. Chocolate cake tastes good as hell, you know, but if you eat chocolate cake 3-4 times a day, every day, guess what? That's going to have some negative consequences and impact on your health. Same thing with Kratom. You know, it's not talking shit about Kratom. It's not campaigning against Kratom. It's being honest. You know, if you're going to do that, if you're going to be a regular user, do other things right so that the Kratom is not such a detriment to your health, physically and mentally, okay? At An1 Ketos, it's the guy from Greece. I think it's awesome to have someone from Greece. It says, "Nice to see you, Corey. I admire your courage to make videos with content that helps a lot of people. I want to remind you something you said a few videos ago. Don't let anyone dictate to you how you live your life and how to be happy. Only you know how your life would be, how your life will be the way you want it to be, so you will be happy. That's your words, and it is wise thinking and a healthy attitude of living." And I agree 100%. Hope the best for you and your family. Greetings. Greetings to you, my man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And those are my words. And you're absolutely right. And I feel like everyone should adhere to that. You know, on the flip side of that same coin, you as a person living who has a responsibility to be your best you need to make sure that you're living the best version of your own life. If Kratom is what makes you happy and you think that enriches your life and makes your life better in a sense, then it is your responsibility to use it in the most responsible and healthy way that you possibly can, you know? And that's the way I feel about it, and that's what I try to teach people on here. But thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. The continued encouragement. At Tyler Logan 4900, "I never ended up quitting Kratom, but at least I found your channel and I dig the vibe." Thank you very much. I really appreciate you continuing to support the channel. Down Home 3 says, "Dude, I need to adapt your diet style. Find what works for me. I drink pop. I got so much to work on." Dude, one thing at a time, man. There was a point in my life where I smoked cigarettes, took Adderall, smoked weed, drank Monster energy drinks all day, and wasn't exercising. Okay? So it's all about notching it down. It's all about cleaning everything up one thing at a time. And maybe one day I'll you know, notch down the Kratom and I'll get rid of the Kratom. It's possible. You know, it's very possible. Right now, that's not where I'm at, and I'm enjoying it, and I think it's serving a purpose for me at this point in my life. But you never know what will happen in the future, because I ultimately am always with the attitude of continuous improvement in life, you know, and I think everyone should be that way. I'll get back to some of these later on. I gotta go. Listen, I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment. Maybe I'll address your comment on my next show. Corey is out. You guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Be grateful for what you have. All right.